Bridge core for November, pretty simple, just doing front, side, back, side. On the face down one, we're going to work different wrist positions just to condition them, because I find a lot of people that, they do the wrist warm-ups and go through them, but to get a bit stronger there, this is quite helpful. So you're just doing a normal bridge, nothing fancy with it, but what's going to make it hard, even if you have to go to the knees, is you're going to work through the different wrist positions. So it might be here for 30 seconds in the first round, second round go to there. To make it harder, you come back on it further, and then third round going to there. But all the same bridge stuff applies. That one's a bit harder on the shoulders because of the internal rotation. All the same stuff applies, keeping that nice long spine, keeping those lower abs active, not letting the head drop down, really trying to condition that for 30 seconds. Side bridge, pretty simple, just like last month, but without the rotation. Remember to keep a good version that's right for you. If you want to make it harder, so from here I've got that shorter lever, and I can go toe to heel, go straight arms, straight legs, and then I can come up, condition that. Then on the back, just keeping a nice position, not overly arching, but keeping the hips up. Basic one, the knees are bent, it's pretty easy to maintain, but then from there, if you want to make it harder, you have the legs straight, but the glutes stay off, and front of the hips stay open. If that feels a bit strong on the shoulders, just bring the arms out. But just trying to keep those shoulder blades pushing back into the ground, 30 seconds there. Then the other side for the bridge to maintain that balance. So here, obviously if you have the elbow further from the knee, it's a longer lever. So if that's out more, if it's over, the shoulders over the top more, it's a bit more balanced. But just be mindful, a lot of people that the shoulder gets fatigued before anything else in this, so don't force it too much. Some people, they actually prefer just that version because they find it easier on the shoulder. For me, it's a bit harder, but it just depends again on that lever length and how you hold it. If you wanted to make it quite hard, you go one arm, one leg, and get the body in that nice straight line there, and that's going to condition that glute on the leg that's on the ground a lot more as well. They are only 30 seconds, so it's a little bit shorter, and because you're kind of coming around in that rotation, you get a bit of rest from each side, so that's quite nice. But 6 minutes of that's quite good. You're getting that all the way around that 360-degree core, which is very cool. So get it done this month, and just see where you're at the end of the month, and then go into a different version of the bridge next month. But trying to keep that nice base for your core. A lot of people kind of rush over the core, or they think it's okay, I'll just skip that, I don't really find it that hard, or do I really get any benefit from it? But when you're younger and you don't have spinal pain, or you haven't injured your spine or something like that, you don't appreciate it. But from someone that's had a lot of neck pain and dysfunction, doing this low-level core stuff is really important to keep those segments intact and healthy. A lot of the fitness community is kind of, even anti-core, and it's just like, well, you get your core when you're doing squats, you get your core because you're using your core doing everything. The problem with that is that when you're doing higher intensity loading, you're not getting the slow twitch fibers and the fibers that are working with postural endurance over a longer period of time. So you kind of sacrifice that stability for more mobility. And I've had plenty of clients, elite level athletes that are very strong, but have no postural endurance, and they keep hurting their spine, they keep hurting joints because they don't have tissue integrity over a longer period. They come in here, they can sprint very fast, they can deadlift or whatever, but then they hurt after because they don't have the tissue tolerance to hold the joints in position over a longer period. Or the classic example is the footballer that can play hard for the first quarter of the game. So the first half of the first half, they're fine. They start to fatigue, they get through the first half, but that last quarter, that second half of the second half just kills them. They're in pain because they're so fatigued from the whole thing. They can't hold the joints together. And then they're in pain afterwards, and it's not, and if they're playing regular, they recover by the next time, and they just keep repeating the process. And the biggest problem with that is that you're slowly doing more damage, or quickly doing more damage, but you're doing more damage every time. And the longer you keep training in pain and keep pushing through that, the more tissue destruction you're getting, and the longer it's going to take to fully recover. And I've done that to myself over the years, where I keep training even though I have pain in my body, and I can do the workout. And usually once you warm up, you feel pretty good because you get your own natural anti-inflammatories. But you're digging a bigger hole over the long term by not doing the kind of boring stuff, the core conditioning, or you're doing it but not paying attention to it. So really try and feel the tissues when you do the core stuff, and feel everything working, so that way over the long term you can hold your joints together, and we can keep going to 120. That's the goal. All right, keep it up.